What up, everybody? Welcome back to Henge and Get Where the YouTubers with Attitude. I'm Jared, and for now, I'm writing a little solo dolo, but that's okay, because right now we're about to review episode 7, hopefully that's the right number, of Power Rangers Beast Morphers. And we're going to wait for the others to join a little bit later on. Until then, be sure to give this video a like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon if you know if I would post more videos, go live, and follow all of our social media and Twitch. All right. With the formalities out the way. Not gonna lie, not much happened in episode 7 that I can really recall. I was half asleep, honestly. But I still stood up or was awake enough to watch. The episode starts off with my bias, Roxy, and nobody's here right now to get on me on that. So far, like, not much happened in the episode, but I give it a higher score already just because it starts off with Roxy. Her and Blaze are making a train monster. I forgot the monster's name, or what they even call the monsters. Like, I know it's not a Giga Drone. I know those are bigger ones. Monster Droid or whatever. All right, makes a train monster droid. And the motion he was going, since he is a train, was a little reminiscent of ToQger. Well, you'll obviously, especially in the late, like, Neo Saban seasons, you would see like little Super Sentai references here and there, especially from the Sidarsos. So it's nice that you see a little reference to ToQger, like in a few. I think it was like the car wash episode. I think it was like episode 5, where their little team handshake thing was the Go Buster Ready Go thing. So I think I made note of that. If I didn't, then making note of it now. And in the background, you see Power Rangers Mystic Force. The episode is Dark Wish Part 1. You were paying attention to the background, you already know what was going on. Basically, that's how this episode of Beast Morphers had started, with Rangers taking what they got for granted. Now, in this case, it's Ravi and Devin training. They're taking their B spots for granted, as well as Zoe, but it's not as defined as you see back here. Like, again, Mystic Force wasn't one of my favorite seasons, but it was still done well enough. So well enough that Red Ranger, he was in the movie Hacksaw Ridge, starring former Spider-Man Andrew Garfield, directed by Mel Gibson. Anytime I get to mention that, it's just fun. Speaking of this season in particular, actually, Solaris Knight is going to be in the new Hobbs and Shaw movie alongside The Rock and Roman Reigns in the big Samoan family scene. I'm already going to see Hobbs and Shaw because I'm a big Rock fan, a big Fast and Furious fan. Seeing Roman Reigns and John Tweed in it just made it even that much better. And I also like Jason Statham, to go without saying. But back to the task at hand. Everything that happens in this episode happens in Beast Morphers, only just not as well because it's rushed. It's a rushed episode. Now, there are some theories. There's some things I would have wanted out of this, but I'm gonna save that for later. And maybe I think Mark will join in and he'll help back me up on these theories. But until then, yeah, Devin was asking Cruz, "Oh, did you get the thing? Did you take the shortcut?" No, it took me a while. Devin's not pleased. Then, he ends up leaving the training room. Robbie's like, "Hey," or no, Smash is like, "Hey, Robbie, I can train with you." And then he's like, got some like something on his hand, like cake or something. I don't know. I'll have to sleep, but yeah, like he had something on his hand. He got on Robbie's shirt, and Robbie's like, "This is my favorite shirt." So it's like, yeah, they're taking their B spots for granted, which is totally uncool. I'm like, you guys are jerks. It's like, because it's like it's all of a. It feels like it's out of nowhere. It feels like it's out of nowhere just to fit the episode of the week, but I don't know how much time is passing. Like, it could be days, weeks, months. Who the hell knows? We don't get that. Because, like, with certain Ranger seasons, you've gotten, like, oh, this happened, a couple of days go by, usually a week or so, but, like, wouldn't be as jarring as, like, yo, 1 week you're all cool, next thing you're just getting fed up with them. Like, what? And, like, this episode is like, oh, you should be their best friends. I'm like, how did they become best friends? Like, we don't see that develop much. But again, gotta cram a lot in. just gotta take it at face value, I guess, whatever. Um, and then like Zoe, she's looking for Jax, and he's being a little secretive with Ben and Betty. Um, yeah, and then like she's getting a little tired of his ish as well, and like Nate is just like, yo, you guys should be lucky you guys got these B spots as your best friends. I don't have it. But yeah, we touch on like he's got nobody. It's just leading towards him getting his own B spot, which was taken last episode. And yeah, now again, foreshadowing to him getting his Morpher B spot. I'm gonna talk about when we theorize this because again, was hoping to see a bit more out of this episode. Basically, what happens in Dark Wish, I was hoping to see out of this, but getting a little ahead of myself. What else? And then the monsters attacking. The plan was for them to grab the B spots, take their memory, so that they can make their own Megazord. So the train monster attacks when the Rangers are training with their guns and using like holograms or whatever. That's gonna play a part into the episode later on. So yeah, now the monster he takes the memories of Cruz and Smash, and then Jax is the only survivor. Yeah, forgive me. I was half asleep when I saw this episode. It's been a long week, but yeah, it's paid by it was paid by the numbers weekly. Like it felt like a weekly episode, but it has like ramifications for the future. But it's like it felt a little rushed to be that way. But it's like if you know Power Rangers and you know what happens in Go Busters, you know what happens in Rangers in general. You'll know what happens, and you know that something's gonna happen. It didn't feel that way, but that's where they're going. But yeah, then Zoe's just like she's getting fed up with Jackson. She's trying to find a tablet. She can't find a tablet. I'm skipping through a lot. Not a lot happens, like I said. Yeah, no, she can't find her tablet. She thought she left it with Nate's lab. And Jack's like, oh, you left it in Nate's lab, and then she gets pissed and it's like, yo, this dude's worthless, and she hurts his feelings. And then he shows they're planning to do a party. He's like, look, we appreciate you guys for everything you do with Rangers. And again, I wonder how much time has passed. How long have they been Rangers to warrant a party of appreciation? Which I'm not against at all, because it's like, hey, they're taking count the appreciation challenge like we do out here. So it's like, that's why Cruz was late, because he was getting supply. That's because that's what happened. I remember. Zoe was looking for some office supplies, but instead there were party supplies that Jax got. And the reason for the party supplies because he was throwing a party. Wanted to show them they appreciate them. They're like, oh, we are best friends. I still don't know how much time has passed for that to be warranted, but whatever. So yeah, now that's gone down. But while Cruz and Smash had lost their memories, they were just plain old robots. They were just doing as they're told. Like Devin's like, oh, can you try that shortcut now? And then like it doesn't go in his favor. You regress that. Smash was like, oh, I can yeah. Robbie's like, oh, Smash, you can go all out. Just don't even hesitate. Even when I'm not ready. Boom. Smash is like, hey, I just do what you said. Robbie's like, oh, I regret this decision now. Yeah, it's like it's basically be careful what you wish for. I wish. I'm gonna be pointing to this a lot because that's basically what this happens. Like, hey, you getting a little too big for your britches, getting a little too comfortable what you got, taking it for granted, and then boom, blows up in your face. Now back to they were setting up a party, showing appreciation. They feel bad, like, oh, I guess they're not idiots. I guess they're not terrible. They're just trying to do something nice for us. Okay. So, and the monster fight footage is good. Not even it's not even bad. So yeah, they set up a plan where they try to use Jax's bait. It actually was Jax's idea to lure the monster so they can get the memories back of Cruz and Smash, and then use the hologram thing from their training They beat the monster. They get their memories back. All is well, and then the Rangers, the end, um, would throw a party for the Beast Box, be like, "Hey, we appreciate you guys. Didn't mean to take you for granted." Basically, something that could have again been two or more parts, like Dark Wish, just ended up in just one 20-something minute episode of Beast Morphers, which is like it's not even as bad. It's just like I've seen it before. I've seen it, but done better. Wasn't a bad episode. It just felt rushed, and it just had me question like how much time is passing in this series for any of this to be warranted. And then like I'm like, why couldn't this have been done later on? Like, why couldn't more time pass where that it could have been established better, and then more could have happened in that. I'm gonna get to that. But yeah, no. Then Scrozzle is just like he's tight that they lost the memories. He's trying to take it out on Blaze and Roxy, and I was like, yo, son, you better watch yourself, Scrozzle. Watch yourself. Hmm. Well, yeah, that's it. That's it. Paint by the numbers episode. Felt like something bigger was gonna happen, but didn't. There's a reason for that. Um, if for like on my first goal, like I've mentioned this before on the channel with all the others, like Blaze and Roxy's, they're gonna usurp Ebox and Throzzle, and like basically once Ebox is defeated, Blaze and Roxy are gonna take over, and that's when Roxy's gonna have her purple colors, and that's when you see more of her footage from Go Busters. That's gonna be like an upgrade. Blaze is just gonna be there, especially during the last few episodes. Things get heavy, get real. That's when it's gonna go down. Yeah, no, Scrozzle's like he's acting all big for his bitches, like, oh, don't worry, Evox, we're gonna get these two, we're gonna beat these two as well. No, they're gonna take down Evox, and then Scrozzle's gonna be kissing their feet. It basically is like what, like in space, Lost Galaxy, like a lot of seasons where the villains are like getting all big for their britches, and then all of a sudden they get knocked down a peg. That's what's gonna happen with Scrozzle. That's what I feel is gonna happen. Um, he still has the pieces for Jay, the B spot that was supposed to be for Nate. So I think he's working on something. He's working on a Zord. He's gonna work on all the Gold Ranger stuff, all the Silver Ranger stuff, or at least I think he's gonna work on all the Silver Ranger stuff, and it's gonna tie into what Nate is doing with the Gold Ranger stuff. At least that's what I think. I hope we could have seen more of this. This could have been drawn out a bit longer, where they're still working on stuff for Jay, and then like and they save them. They save Jay, and then he becomes just a radical beast spot. He just be like drinking out of Trump, Morph X. I mean, he's drinking it out of the can. He's just like getting all sassy and stuff, but he still has like a heart of gold. Go there, but yeah, like that's what I think might happen. I think that's what should happen. I don't know. Um, yeah, I think this should have been later down the road. We're on episode 7. It's gonna be over 20, 25 episodes. So like I think they could have done a little. They could have let this drawn out a bit more. Could have done Monster of the Week formula. Could have had something more. Like basically, the stakes could have been raised up more to lead up to when Nate becomes the Gold Ranger, and we get the Silver Ranger as well. Where this exact episode could have been the Dark Wish of the Hasbro era, where they take their B spots for granted. They're taking their powers for granted, and then they lose their B spots for a while. Not just like, oh, this episode and they get them back. No, they lose them for episode or two, and they're just they're getting their asses handed to them left and right, and then like Nate comes to the rescue, and then Nate saves Jay. We're like, yeah, it could have been like a 3-parter episode. They're taking their B spots for granted. Jay shows up infected and all. Let me think. He comes in infected and all. Um, Virus is taken down with inside. Nate comes. Jay morphs with him, and then we have the Gold and Silver Ranger. It could have been a good solid 3-parter, and like it could have been a good multi-part episode. the arc that introduced Nate as a new Ranger, because you see him wanting to be a Ranger. He's been alone his entire life. He was taken away from his family because he's so smart. All that stuff, like you, really, like that. We were thinking that was gonna happen. It would have been a multi-part series, the first multi-part series in the new Hasbro era, because the first one was the Gold, like Green with Evil was the first multi-story arc in the Saban era. First multi-part arc in the Disney era was, I want to say, Thunderstorm. When the wasn't Thunderstorm the team up? Basically, when the Thunder Rangers came along, that was like the first multi-parter for the Disney era, and for the first, I don't think there was a multi-parter for Neo Saban like that for a while. At least that I can remember. Neo Saban's a blur. Everything's a blur today. I'm very tired. But yeah, like this could have been a multi-parter. This could have been happening later on down the line. It just feels so rushed, and I feel like a waste of potential. It's like now what's gonna happen when Gold and Silver arrive? How is that gonna happen? Is it gonna happen in a similar way, but just different now because now like all the B spots in them are good? Like how's that gonna work out? Like this is the perfect setup. Like, oh, their powers are taken for granted. They lose their powers. They have nothing. They're getting their asses kicked. It's just like, getting there in the ringer, man. Like you gotta. I don't know. I don't know. Like, what do you do? You're losing it all. You're losing bad to the point where you need backup. That backup shows up, but the backup was working for the evil guys because they took it. Nate comes in, takes out the virus. He has his own morpher, makes one for the bot. Boom, Gold and Silver arrive. So yeah, I think that's what they could have fixed. Dark Wish was a solid arc, but it was like what, 2 parts of this. It could have been Dark Wish, but with like 3 to 4 parts. It could have done what Dark Wish did, but better. But until then, Dark Wish is better. I could be wrong though. Maybe Hasbro has something up their sleeve that I don't know. Because they keep things pretty close to the vest. So who knows what'll happen? I don't know. I give this episode 3.5 out of 5. I'm only getting that half point because of Roxy starting in the beginning. Biases, man. I don't care. Basically, anything Roxy is doing, showing her knowledge of said power game that I mentioned many a time. She does what she does. This episode's gonna be way better. Could be the worst episode of the season, but I'll still be like, hey, Roxy's in it though. That's all that matters. So, I mean, the question is, what did you guys think? Do you think they could have waited out on this, use this later on in the series? If you had a B spot, what kind of B spot would it be? What would you have done different for this episode? Like, would you have done what's going on here? Would you have done something like similar to what I said, or something completely different? Let your opinion and voices be heard. For now, I'm gonna see if I can get Mark, see if he has any theories or opinions on the matter, because I feel like this week was just like it was just there. It had the potential, but wasted. It was wasted potential. Not saying it's terrible. It just like basically everything that they could have done better. Like last week, they could have introduced the Megazord better. They could have. I don't know. I think I skipped over the Megazord fight and everything. You already know how this goes. Power Rangers, Megazord's there now. Bad guys lose. Good guys win. Bad guys lose. All the same stuff. All the same stuff. So, I don't know. We're on episode 7 now. We're on to be on. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Jared.
I'm giving up on this. This episode made me I'm already physically tired, but I think the episode made me more physically tired.
Wait, why?
Because As I was saying in the review, is basically this episode is like what I'm watching right now, Dark Wish, but it just condensed into one like 20-something minute episode. And I'm thinking that they would have done this later on down the road because nothing, like I said, I told you earlier, nothing really happens. It's just the B spots are taken for granted. The bad guys try to take their memories to do something evil with it.
Yeah, I saw the previews for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like what's I saying? Cruise and Smash, they are now doing what Devin and Robbie were telling them to do before the whole situation happened, but now they're regretting that now because it's like, oh, be careful what you wish for, and then Jax, and just like it's a big fat of nothing based off something that could have happened. Like if I was saying how they could have done this later on down the series because
We haven't really spent this much time with them.
exactly. Like that's I'm like how much time is passing in this series to warrant all of this? Like, when did the series start? Because I know they had a Valentine's Day thing going on. So I'm like, was it a month or two since then? And then like have more months passed, more weeks, days? I don't know. And like, I would have thought, okay, more time passes. Then they take their B spots for granted. Then they lose their B spots. Now they're regretting what they're doing with their B spots. And then Nate becomes gold. They saved the silver bot. Yeah, he has the Evox virus taken out, but then like he's still sassy, drinks cans of Morphex, and then just like becomes the silver. I think this could have been like a good 3 to 4 episode multi-parter doing what.
Wait, they introduced the Silver Ranger?
Because the signs that would have led to this introducing the next 2 Rangers were Nate saying, "You guys take your B spot for granted. I wish I had a B spot because the bot he was building got taken away." So I would think by the time that this episode would have happened, the bat like Evox and them, what's his name, Scrozzle would have built up B spot J, and like he would be wreaking havoc. Then that's when the Rangers lose their B spots because it's like now it's like, oh, we have your B spots. We're gonna build an evil army led by these 3 now 4 bots. But then like they save the B spots along with the silver bot, and then that's when they get those. I think those like I want to say secondary power that leads up to the main powered customs. I know I saw some set footage similar to that. So that's when they would have got that power up, or at least not that power up. That would have got the extra Rangers. I don't know. It's like episode had the potential, but was wasted a little too early.
I think they're just trying to rush it.
That's what I think too, and it's like that's the problem they had in the Neo Saban era. But
I was about to say like that was their problem like for the past couple seasons. Their pacing.
yeah, and it's like I get why I get Beast Morphers' sake. Why? Because the show was in development while still under the Neo Saban banner, and it just didn't become officially under Neo Saban because by that time Power Rangers itself was being bought out by Hasbro. So it's like Hasbro was just like taking over, and it's just like as Hasbro was taking over, the show was already in development. The show has already been written and everything. It's just now under like I guess like now like Hasbro had final say how the theme song went and everything because it's like we're changing it up, blah blah blah, and then like there's still things that are trickled in from Neo Saban, like I mentioned when we had first seen the stock footage morph sequence. That's I'm like, oh, okay, so it's still done under Neo Saban's uninspired eye, uninspired creative watch, or whatever the hell. And like, so it's like okay, so they got I think some of the writing stuff are the same, changing it up a bit because they're starting to see it's like okay, we did this, that, and this wrong for other seasons, so we're gonna try it differently. But it's still a little rushed. But I don't think it's just on the writing staff because the series is like 25 episodes. It's like that's on Nickelodeon as well, broadcasting these episodes, and it's like they want certain episodes for every show that they run to be up to like 20, 25 episodes. That's not beneficial at all. That just hurts the story, especially if you're splitting it into 2 seasons. What most Power Ranger seasons are up to 38, 40, 50 episodes. And like, if Nickelodeon would get the stick out their ass, ease up a bit, and just say, hey, all right, we'll give this leeway to Power Rangers, let them run on the full entire year. Especially, like I've mentioned before, how in Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, they're just weeks that don't show an episode. Like, they go like a week without showing an episode because of a special event. Like, especially over the summer, they have like a golf tournament, baseball tournament, something going on where they cannot show an episode, and then they just go back to it the next week. That's what Nickelodeon could have done, especially they have what what are is it the thing they do over the summer? I don't remember. It's where kids just don't watch TV for an entire day, and like I remember that being a thing for like forever. So like they could do something like that where they just like, hey, we're cutting off TV for the entire day. Go outside and play. That's when you don't show Power Rangers this week. You'll show it the next week, and like it helps space out time, and like you could produce all the episodes needed.
I feel like 30 episodes is like the good amount, honestly.
Yeah, like at least 30. Like it can just run from,
because that's what the original series have been doing. Like
yeah,
even in space, they did like at least 40, I believe.
yeah,
Like,
35 at least 35 to like have the pacing done a bit better, where we could have multi-part arcs, have something serious happen, have time to be invested in these.
Sure they're gonna be under this banner for like a couple, like for at least 3 years now.
Yeah, like they've dropped the ball ever since Samurai, and I think that should have been a sign right there when Samurai stopped halfway and then it becomes Super Samurai. I just didn't pay it any no mind until Megaforce. Well, I was like, wow, okay, so this is a thing. But who knows? I think they're just doing it because I think they have like another 2 years on their contract with Nickelodeon. So I think,
yeah, that's why they're gonna be just Nickelodeon's pretty cheap with their programming.
yeah. So I think
that's.
I think after.
I mean, I still am okay with the shows they put out. It's just that they're not giving Power Rangers the respect that it should have.
Yeah, like they need, because that's why I think Power Rangers could be that show that is treated different, because it's not SpongeBob, it's not Ninja Turtles, because like, well, that's the thing. That's why I tried to compare it to Ninja Turtles, but I was like, Ninja Turtles was actually good, and that's like 20 some odd episodes, but I think that's a cartoon series. That's what gives it a little bit of an edge.
I would be okay with like animation, like them using like 20 episodes a year, because like it takes a very long time to animate.
Yeah,
so.
that's one reason why when it comes to live action productions, it takes what, a couple of months, shoot some stuff. You gotta make some reshoots. Fine, it takes a couple of months, close to a year, but even then, most episodes are done by the time the show starts airing. Like what's going on now, the show is airing now. There's still like a month left on Beast Morphers season 2. So it's like I think they could have just given Power Rangers that little special leeway, like, all right, look, you guys can do a whole year, like how you used to with Disney and Fox and stuff like that. But what this whole 20 episode thing that hurts the pacing entirely, because Power Rangers is different than Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles has like one filler episode and it goes back to its thing, but it still focuses on whatever they do. Power Rangers has to have 4 episodes just to bring out a monster. We show them new toys, new powers, whatever. So like Power Rangers requires filler to pad out the story to have the show go on longer. And if you just shorten it out, basically that's what they're giving it the Dragon Ball Kai effect, where it just cuts out all the fat. But it worked for Dragon Ball Kai's sake because they're just focusing more on the manga. And like when it comes to Power Rangers, it's just you cut out not just the dead weight, but they're cutting off a lot more than they should have.
Basically, you're getting rid of entire storylines.
Yeah, like it's like instead of having 3-4 storylines going on, you're cutting it down to like 2 or 3 at most.
It's just the villains and the heroes. That's it.
Yeah, it's like, what about the side characters? Side characters get no love, except Bulk and Spike. I think that's the only time that they really got to develop side characters in this recent era of Rangers. But, like, I think that's why, like, especially fans love Kelson Henderson, because he's been all these side characters from Boom to God, what he played in Mystic, but he's been so many side characters. And when he finally became Red Ranger and Ninja Steel, it felt earned because he was all these side characters for these many years, and it's like we got to see his characters grow through each season he's been a part of. We don't really get to see that in these recent eras. We just see them being all funny, then they do something to save the world, then that's it. Not saying that these side characters don't deserve to have the spotlight shown on them, but it's like they should have more. They should be given more to work with to grow, not just be like one note and then, the season finale happens, then they do something heroic.
I can only imagine like they're kind of saving up their money for bigger production, like over the coming years. That's just my thought about it. Like,
Probably.
Because they're selling the toys right now, and Lightning Collection's coming out in like a month.
Yeah, they're starting to pop up the Lightning toys, and we already did a toy review that's gonna be out in a couple of days. The time's getting away from me and everybody, but yeah, But I think, I don't know. I think I'm gonna get all the Lightning Collection toys. I really, really want. Well, I mean, I've had Tommy figurines before. I think I want them all. Can't even decide which one I want. I'm leaning towards more either Doggy Kruger or Dino Charge, Red. But yeah, I can't wait to get the Lightning figures. So I think Beast Morphers is just a test run for when the next series they do, it'll be fleshed out more, and they'll have the money for it because of the people are watching this show. A lot of people are watching this show, and not just in America, but like all over the world, people are watching this show, except New Zealand, because it's still banned for some reason. But yeah, like the amount of viewers it's reaching its quota, probably going above it, and then like with the toys, dude, these toys are going quick. Like I went to 3 different Targets. I saw the majority of the first release of stuff, and most of them were either in the back or most of them were gone, being bought. It's just insane, and I think they're gonna make their money back from these toys to have a bigger budget for the next series, so that whatever season, I'm never ever betting on a Ranger season when it comes to Hasbro ever again. Whatever season they bring, it'll be fleshed out more, it'll be fleshed out better, and it'll have a better budget. And hopefully Nickelodeon will be like, all right, look, you want to do this, we'll let you do you. Or I don't know. Maybe Rangers will get the proper earned respect it'll get, and hopefully it'll warrant a movie sequel with the cast from the 2017 movie, which we continuously hope for. But I think I'm gonna wait out for Aladdin and Charlie's Angels, especially Charlie's Angels. I'm gonna wait for that to come out in like October to see, because mentioned his Naomi Scott and Elizabeth Banks. So I'm gonna wait out. I'm gonna wait out on that. Let me see how that goes. I'm pretty sure Paramount and Hasbro they're gonna be like watching close, especially they're gonna be watching closely, and they'll be like, all right, we'll put in some money for a Power Rangers sequel. Pay for the statues. I'm pretty sure Paramount can afford it. And like what toys they're doing now, especially with the Lightning Collection, I think the Lightning Collection can do the movie figure toys right, and they will sell like crazy. Especially once they get a good look, it's like, okay, these are the movie figurines. They got the movie actors' heads on it. You can do whatever. It'll have one for Jason. It'll have one for Zordon. It'll have one for Rita and stuff like that. I don't know. Would you buy the 2017 movie toys if they were part of the Lightning Collection?
Yeah, I would buy the Megazord, but
Oh yeah, no, I'm still working on getting those from the Legacy figures because I think Legacy figures were fine, but I think the Lightning Collection could do what the Legacy figures did, but better. But yeah, I don't know. Here's hoping that whenever Gold and Silver is introduced, it'll be done right, done with honor, justice, and all that stuff.
I feel like they're gonna do it before the break.
Whenever that is, because I don't even know when the break is happening. Because like, since the series started so late, like
We got like, I feel like we got 2 weeks left, like May.
maybe,
I feel like
maybe, because
because they usually introduce it at around that time, like
episode 10.
like the 9th episode in.
I think 3 more episodes, and then they'll introduce the character. Because the way the pacing
Basically.
is going, it's not gonna be that long until we see Gold Ranger and Silver Ranger.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys at home think? Do you think we'll see Gold and Silver by episode 10? And if so, how do you think they're gonna come across that? Sound off in the comments. And I asked earlier if you guys had a B spot from the series or your own, what would it be like? Sound off in the comments again. Oh, I'm tired, but I gotta go to the gym. So until then, if you guys want to see something that was similar to this episode, hit up Netflix, Dark Wish, your best bet, because it was done better. But yeah, till then, catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.